Okay guys, so this is my video on this lovely camera. So this is the Canon's 4000D digital camera with 18 megapixel sensor, and I am filming this introduction after actually going out and doing the shoot. The reason for this video was to see if the cheapest Canon camera can give you really good picture quality based on the lenses that you use. So I have 3 lenses, which you will see in the following set of clips, and then you'll see the photographs taken with each particular lens. Now I've tried to take the same pictures all the way through, and hopefully you'll see that there is a big difference. I will be using the Canon 4000D. I bought this as a secondary camera for a an event that I was covering, and I just needed it to just stay in one corner and just film everything. I had a wide lens on it and that was it. It was just meant to be secondary footage, and because of its 18 megapixel sensor, it didn't match up very well to the Canon 80D, which is a 24 point something megapixel camera, and it was very apparent that for video it's not going to be good. Plus it didn't have the dual pixel autofocus, whereas the Canon 80D does have that. But it wasn't all a loss, because this, even though it's an entry-level DSLR, it's actually the cheapest one Canon actually do, and it is a photographic powerhouse. I haven't taken any professional or client photos with it, but I've seen a couple of photo samples coming out of this and they are amazing. So I'm gonna stick this into aperture priority mode, because this is a manual lens and it goes down to f2.8. So this is, before I forget, the Super OZEC Auto Wide Angle MC 2.8 28mm lens, and it's a vintage lens. It's been modified for this, well, for the Canon EF mount. So yeah, it's a high quality prime lens from the late, I think the late 80s, this one. It's full metal construction and metal plate, but obviously I'm using an adapter here. Actually, let's just double check the adapter. Let's turn this off. Okay, so it's just a plastic adapter, but I believe the mount is going to be metal, because that's how this whole construction is. It's all metal. Okay, so let's give this a try. We're going to use aperture priority mode, as I said, and I'm going to be manually adjusting the aperture here. Obviously I'll be manually focusing as well, so that will be interesting. But this is a very cheap lens to buy because it's vintage. It comes in at around like £20 or under. I think this, I can't remember how much I got this one for. I bought 3 lenses, if I can remember correctly. Yes, that's right. I bought 3 lenses, and one of them was £20, the others were 15, and I think about £27. And yeah, we'll go and see how this works. Then in the next video in this series, I will be trying the Canon kit lens. This, I didn't actually buy this with the kit lens, I just bought the body because it was even cheaper. Yeah, and then I'll try it with a higher spec lens. Unfortunately, I don't own any L glass, but there are lenses in my collection which are either like the 3 vintage ones that I purchased. Some of them are high-end vintage ones. One of them I think has a 1.8 aperture, but it's actually a telephoto lens. But yeah, we'll see. Again, it's the same camera, the 4000D, which is the entry-level basic Canon DSLR that you can get for dirt cheap. I think it's just about £200. It's probably gone down a bit further now, but yeah, this is the lens that would have come with this if I had bought this particular camera with a lens. So this is the Canon EFS 18-55 crop sensor lens, and it's 18-55. That's 18-55 on a full frame. So with the 1.6 times crop, it's, I think it's about a 24-70 roughly. Don't quote me on that. I'll see if I can find out for you. But basically, this has image stabilization and autofocus, and we're going to be using that in the same modes that we used for the vintage lens. And then hopefully we'll check the picture quality of these pictures. The picture quality from the vintage lens was pretty interesting, and I'll draw my conclusions about that towards the end of the video. So let's get to it. This time we've got a different lens. It's the much heavier Sigma 18-50 2.8. Now this is a constant aperture of 2.8, and it's also got image stabilization, and it's a very cheap version of a Canon L lens, or so some people have said. So obviously I had to get it for video creating purposes, and yeah, let's see how it fares. Okay, so did you notice any difference? I did. So the first lens, which was the OZEC lens, that's a 30-year-old lens, and it did pretty well, but there was so much haze in the pictures, and sometimes I'd get a really clean shot, sometimes I would like completely miss it. Because it's a manual lens, I also missed the actual focus a couple of times. But having said that, the actual bokeh or blurry background it gives is actually pretty decent. So I actually liked using that as well, because I was actually thinking about what I wanted to shoot and making sure that I was actually getting focus. And the second lens was the 18-55 Canon kit lens that you'll get with any APS-C camera from Canon, and it was really good. I can't believe how well it held up. It was a nice sunny day on all 3 days that I took these pictures, and I was very, very impressed. Not only does it focus well, the colors are represented well, and also it's not noisy. Obviously the images are stabilized, which the first lens they weren't stabilized. And then the final lens, which was a Sigma 17-50mm, which was the last lens that I used, and you'll see that the picture quality is amazing. The bokeh on that lens and the kit lens is pretty much indistinguishable to somebody that's not looking, but it is there. But the picture quality, the clarity in it was really, really good. And I think out of all 3 lenses, that is my new favorite one. For definitely photography wise, as a go-to lens, it's perfect. For video, it's a bit noisy, but if you're using off-board microphones, so it shouldn't be too much of a problem. But photographic wise, it's bang on. I did actually see a couple of videos where people said that it was almost identical to a Canon L lens, and in picture quality, yeah, I can see that. Build quality, not so much. It is plastic with metal elements to it, and it does feel really good, and it actually is quite heavy. You might have to take that into consideration if you don't want to carry a lot of weight around with you, but it is one of the best lenses that I've actually used, and I'm actually using it now on this particular video, so you probably may see some difference, you may not. Unfortunately, the autofocus on my camera is not working with this lens. I have to get the firmware update done on this lens. So should you buy a cheap camera but a decent lens, Yes, if possible, spend more of your money on the lens than you would the camera, and you'll get some really good results, and then you can step up to the next camera. The amazing thing about lenses is that you can take them with you to the next camera, to the next camera, to the next camera. If you stay, say, with Canon or with Nikon, if you keep their lenses, you should be able to use them on their next generation of cameras. They tend not to lose their values so much, so you can technically keep going with the same lens for years and years. Like that 30-year-old lens, that's pretty much still going. Okay, it's not giving the right kind of results, but I did like the little bokeh swirls that it was giving me. Instead of like a nice creamy look to it. It was interesting. It's a unique lens, so yeah, that's good, but definitely go for something that's slightly above the price and quality of the kit lens. The kit lens is just a starter. I hope you like this video. Please like and subscribe to my channel, and I'll see you next time. Thank you.